Hi, I'm Eduarda, and I'm here to share with you my experience inside Love Addicts, which is an online therapeutical program specifically designed for people like me who live with anxious, insecure attachment. A little disclaimer: Love Addicts is not sponsoring these videos, and I'm only here to share my experience and not the contents of the program. I do hope that my journey can help someone else out there. Let's go. So, Love Addicts is a 3-month therapeutical program. And my idea here in this video series is to give you a week by week account of my experience. So, together we can all see how I am shifting and progressing, and if I can actually move from being anxious and insecure to being secure, or how far I get. I'm also going to be talking about like the goals that I'm setting in each week. And I find it very interesting that it hasn't been about reaching my goals, but how my goals are changing and shifting. So, before I go on, I want to show you a little bit more about Love Addicts so you know what I'm talking about. And also, just on a little note, say if you see or hear anything strange, don't be alarmed. It is just my dogs. One of them is currently right here under my duvet. So if you see the duvet moving, if you hear the flapping of ears, it is just my dogs. I will probably end up like moving aside so I can show them to you if they show up in the video. But yeah, I am a dog person. So dogs will be in this video. All right, let's move on and look at Love Addicts so you know what I'm talking about. So, this is the Love Addicts homepage, and you can find this website by going to loveaddicts.com. And here you can learn more about anxious and secure attachments. You can learn more about the program and the people behind it. This is Newer, who is the founder of Love Addicts. And down here, you can also read more about all the elements of this program. The therapy courses are very, very cool. They have helped me a lot. And you can see here some of the titles of the courses. And each of these courses then has modules. So these are very, very enlightening, I find. And they have a daily group therapy element. These are live sessions, which is also really nice. And these are more faces behind the program. These are the psychologists and coaches that help anyone in the program on their journey. And they give amazing insight and advice. I also just want to make it really clear that Love Addicts is a paid program. This is the current cost as I'm recording this video. But again, I'm not here to promote the course. I just want to be very transparent that this is a paid therapeutical course that I am going through. But I'm not here to promote them. I'm just here to share my experience because I find that it is very exciting to have a therapeutical program that can help me go from A to B, from anxious and insecure to hopefully secure. Again, Love Addicts takes 3 months, or the program is designed, I would say, to last 3 months. And you can extend your access, like they say here. And this is the current price for extending your access. This is part of what I'm going to be talking about, not because of the program itself, but just I think I want to talk about like the time of my healing because that has been very important. And here, this is quite fun. You can take an attachment quiz. And once you take this quiz and answer the questions, you get an email with your results and more information on the program. Okay. So, week one in Love Addicts, I'm going to be looking down because I have my notes in my notebook right here. But the first thing that I want to outline are my wants, needs, and my goals in week one. So, what I wanted was just to feel better because I was going through a breakup, and this is something I'm going to be talking about how this therapeutical program has helped me understand, I guess, the elements of how I process a breakup and how I feel about this past relationship is actually one of the ways that I use now to measure myself. But that is further along. In week one, I was going through a breakup. I was suffering. I was already in therapy, and my therapist kept saying to me, you need to feel your feelings, you need to feel your emotions. And I was like, oh my God, but how do I do that? So I was feeling very lost. Um, During this first week, the way that I was coping with the pain was to actually sleep a lot and just like cry, which I guess is not terrible. It was my way of processing because everything felt very unconscious and confusing at that time. So I wanted to feel better. What I felt I needed at that point was to understand anxious, insecure attachment because um, it was through this last relationship that I had that while looking for explanations of why I was feeling so triggered in that relationship, that I found attachment styles. And it was really nice to find this theory. And I like immediately identified with being anxious, insecure, attached, but I didn't really know what to do about it. And I was reading, like about how to heal and what you can do. And I was listening to podcasts, but I still felt like I couldn't shift this on my own. And I think I had already gone to therapy or I was like starting therapy. It all kind of happened at the same time. But in my first few sessions, I realized straight away that even though therapy was going to be great, it wasn't going to get to the core of anxious, insecure attachment. So when I joined, what I felt was one of my biggest needs was to understand anxious and insecure attachment so I could get to the core of it. And my goals. So I had three goals at that point in week one. One of them, again, because I was going through a breakup, was to actually, how can I put this? I don't know how conscious I was, but if I'm going to put it very simply, I wanted to get back together with my ex. There is a lot within this, but I was just suffering. I just missed this person. I had agreed to the breakup because we were both very stressed and miserable in the relationship. But I think there was something in me that thought that if I understand anxious, insecure attachment, I can then heal. I can fix myself, and then I can go back to this person being a better version of myself, and I can rebuild that relationship. So, goal number one was definitely to get back together with my ex. Second goal that I had was to get in touch with my father and rekindle my relationship with my father because I haven't actually spoken to him in nearly a decade. My motivations probably weren't right for wanting to do this, but I just thought that if anxious, insecure attachment is something that is developed in childhood because of your relationship with your primary caregivers, that fixing my relationship with my father could possibly be a big part of my healing. So I didn't really set this goal because I was truly interested in having a relationship with him at that point. I just set this goal because I was in pain, I was suffering, and I was like, okay, I will do anything to heal this aspect of me so I can be happier in my relationships. And if one of the things that I can do to help myself is work through this with him and rekindle this relationship, then great, let's do it. And then my third goal was to better, I guess you could say, to improve my relationship with my mom. And I have an amazing relationship with my mom. We are best friends, but I still wanted to, I guess, connect with her in a different way because I guess I felt like I wasn't a good enough daughter. I wanted to be a better daughter. So that was also a goal that I had. Now, what I want to talk about, or what I want to say about these needs, wants, and goals and whatnot, is that I noticed that they have changed from week to week. Looking back now, one of the insights that I have from week one is that all of my goals had to do with things outside of me. And I think that for me, it meant that I was still very, very unconscious about my own emotions. And I was still trying to fix the past. Um, Even though, like, obviously rekindling a relationship or getting back in touch with an ex to like try again, or, like improving a relationship you already have with a family member, these are all things that take you into the future. And maybe there were even valid goals, but I wasn't doing them, or I didn't want to achieve these things in order to build a future with these people necessarily. What I was actually trying to do was fix the past so I could feel less pain. And I wanted to fix myself, which I now see is not very self-loving. But that's where I was in my week one. Like I said, I didn't really go deep into the program at that point because I had other things happening. Um, and I guess there was something also about like joining the program because I wanted someone to come over with a magic wand and make everything better for me. And then once I got into the platform, I was like, wow, okay, there are therapeutical courses I need to go through. There is the community that I can interact with. There are the live sessions. I can ask questions and talk to the psychologists about my specific situation. As wonderful and amazing as it is, it meant that I had to put in the work. And I think that in that first week, I wasn't ready to put in the work just yet. Okay, in the next video, I am going to talk to you about my second week and how I finally began putting in the work and how bigger shifts started to happen. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I am recording as I go along, because right now I'm just doing everything retrospectively because I started recording these videos after I started the program. But eventually, I'm going to catch up and I'm going to be telling you about things as they happen.